Forget the abstract ideas of if atheists can justify morality. They cannot. Have they been moral when they had power? No, they were not moral. They were the worst oppressors in human history. Millions of people died under communism. Some estimates have gone up to 100 million people died. No religion has killed that many people as much as the atheists have, the militant atheists have. And today, as the genocide is happening to our brothers and sisters in Palestine, one of the main proponents of atheism, Sam Harris, he is justifying the actions of the Zionist state against the Palestinians. Now I want you to understand something very odd. The new atheists say religion is evil. This is the perfect time for them to say the Israelis, the Zionists, are calling Palestinians animals, calling the Palestinians Amalekites, from the biblical reference of the people that were wiped out, that were genocided. This is the perfect time for the new atheists to say, look at the violence religion causes. Look at the violent Zionists. Look at these extremists killing these innocent people. It's the perfect example. But rather than defend them and use an argument in their favor, they're either silent or complicit. They either support the Zionist state or they're muted. In the case of Sam Harris, open support for the Zionist state, open arguments for their actions, and justification and excuses. And he does this as an atheist. Why? Because for them, Islam is the greatest evil. Richard Dawkins a few years ago, and this is, remember, at the height of the war on terror, 1 million people have died in Iraq. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims are dead all across the world because of this war on terror. Afghanistan, how many people died? Somalia, how many people died? Yemen, how many people died? Syria, how many people died? Lebanon, how many people died? Palestine, how many people died? The Israelis used the war on terror to do what they're doing today. What does Richard Dawkins say? Islam is like Nazism. And he says, I do not need to read Mein Kampf to know that it's evil. Likewise, I don't need to read the Quran to know that it's evil. While the Muslims are being butchered, he is dehumanizing Muslims. And this is why in this chapter what I basically do is I show how they are violent in their ideology. The only difference between them and the League of Militant Atheists from the Soviet Union is they don't have political power. What they do have is the power of oration, the power of public speaking, the power of media. And they use that to openly support the people who are killing Muslims, while they're supposed to be believers in humanism and liberalism and human rights and ethics and all this stuff. I actually reference in this chapter a study at King's College in which they looked at the narrative of the new atheists and how it dovetails with the war on terror, and how these new atheists justify the actions of Western imperialism. And this is also important because Darwin's ideas were used to justify British imperialism. A lot of people don't know that. British imperialism, a lot of the people here, they would be from India, Pakistan, or Somalia, or the Middle East. You have faced British imperialism, or your ancestors did at least. The British imperialists, their actions were being justified by Darwin. Darwin wrote in The Descent of Man that in the future time, the future centuries, this will continue because the Caucasian race he saw was the dominant race. And by the way, this is a funny side point I'm going to make. He didn't just say white people are superior to brown people or black people. Black people for him were the most inferior. According to him, the white people were not all equal. They were not all equal. Amongst the white people, amongst the Portuguese and the Spanish and the Greek and the German and the French and the English and the Scottish and the Irish, of course. There was a hierarchy. And the hierarchy was that the British was superior to the Portuguese and the French and the German and the Spanish and the Greek. Why? Oh, in Darwin's words, they are superior because they are better at what? Imperialism, colonization. And what were the British doing at this time? Genociding the natives. Famine in India, famine in Australia, famine and killing and raping and destruction of the Europeans in Africa, in Congo, in Latin America, in North America, what was happening to the natives. So is it just a coincidence, Mr. Darwin, that the race you preach is the highest, happens to be the same race that you happen to belong to? Is that just a historical coincidence? Is it also a coincidence that the people who are most likely to believe in this theory of Darwinism happen to be the same race that the theory purports are the most intelligent? Is that just a coincidence, or is that just a self-serving nature of your theory?